Steve Bowers welcoming you to Studio 6 with the Blue Shine Duo, Jimmy D. Taylor and Steve Patterson. And in this next hour, we're going to take a trip over to what some consider the very north extremity of the very southern Mississippi Delta. We're talking about Haywood County, Tennessee, and Brownsville, and the music of Yank Rachel and Sleepy John Estes, Hammy Nixon. And from there, I don't know where we go. We're going to take that trip together right here with the Blue Shine Duo, Steve Patterson and Jimmy D. Taylor on this Studio 6. How you guys doing?
Doing great.
It's good to have you here.
Yeah.
And we appreciate this opportunity. You guys got started several years ago in this as Little Boys Blue, and then did other things, and now back together. So what's happened?
We did. We started around 93. Not long after I picked up the harmonica. I picked it up around 91. And
Need somebody to carry you, I guess.
Needed somebody to carry me. And I happened to meet Steve around 93, I think at El Chico's at the
El Chico's.
Cinco de Mayo.
It is no longer.
He was there playing the festival that day, and I just happened to be there.
Okay.
And his style of guitar, I thought, that's the kind of guy I want to hook up with and play harmonica.
Okay, interesting. So you heard him that day then?
Heard him that day, and I went up and introduced myself and called him 2 or 3 times, tried to get him to come play, and finally I got him to come over to Brownsville one Saturday to a buddy of mine, had a little house gathering, and after that we
a house party.
Party.
All right.
And we played a little blues, and we kind of took it from there.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So what did you think? You thought he was just kind of
when I first met him.
How long have you been playing? 3 weeks? Thank you very much.
About a month.
It was like I just started, a couple of years ago, and I thought, that's great.
Great.
Don't call us; we'll call you.
I
I hate to say that. And then I heard him play, and I went, "Whoa!" I just about really messed up.
It was a natural thing with him.
It really was.
I don't know. That's the thing, because I met these guys about that time, and when I found out that Jimmy just been playing for a short amount of time, I was like, "Oh, wow!"
Yeah.
Sometimes you have a gift or a thing. So what caused you to pick it up for the first time?
I think growing up, my family, my brother and my 2 sisters play instruments, and I'm playing in church, and I play a little bass guitar, but never could really master it. And my brother was one of these guys that could play just about anything he picked up, and he had gone out to New Mexico for a couple weeks on vacation, and for some reason, while he was out there, to see his mother-in-law, maybe he got bored, I don't know what, he got a harmonica.
He got the blues.
When he came back, he was like bending the notes, and he was saying, "Look at this." We were sitting out at my mother's on a Sunday afternoon, and he said, "I'm tired of this thing, I'm done with it." And he pitched it to me, and I just got mesmerized with it.
Okay.
And when I finally figured out how to bend that 4th note, which is that blues, I don't know, they call it the blues 7th. It's the minor blues, that blues draw that just, that you hear on that harmonica, where you just like, that. I thought that's what I want to do.
How long did it take you to do that?
A couple of weeks just to bend that note. Okay. But then when I bent it, and then I started listening, then I just wanted to start hearing harmonica music. Okay. And then when you started hearing, the first guy that I can remember that I started really being able to listen to, that I had access to, was a couple of country albums that had Terry McMillan on it. And Terry McMillan was a player in Nashville. He was an A session player, harmonica player for years, played with the Gaither Trio, played with everybody. Chet Atkins discovered him, played Ain't Going Down Till the Sun Comes Up, Garth Brooks hit. And when I heard that song, I thought, I want to play like that.
Okay.
And then, of course, the rest of it came by being from Brownsville and learning the history of the Sleepy John Hammy. And then once I figured out all the things that were around me, I started kind of getting obsessed with it a little bit and jumping into it.
Where were you, Steve, then when this hit? When you meet Jimmy? What point were you? You'd been doing this for a long time.
I had off and on. You know, I would play for a few years and I would quit for a few. I never quit playing, but I just quit playing out.
Yeah.
And I was working with some guys around here that were doing some acoustic blues things, and it was pretty good, and I enjoyed playing with them. And then he came along, and it was an opportunity to go a little further, because Jimmy, he is OCD, extremely OCD.
My wife would agree with that.
Okay.
And you know, he's one of these guys that, you know, the phone rings at 3 o'clock. Man, listen to this. And I'm talking 3 o'clock in the morning. You know, I just learned this. I was sitting out in the truck in the driveway, so I wouldn't.
I want to make sure you understood.
Yeah.
Share this exciting moment. Okay.
I really appreciated his tenacity and his excitement. Because, you know, it's like anything else. You do this stuff for a long time, no matter what it is. You sometimes go, okay,
yeah.
Here we
Enough
are
of that,
again.
yeah.
And, you know, I'm from Nashville, and I've got a record contract kind of thing, you know. But anyway, there was no pretense with him, and he was all about the music. He was all about the music. It was always about the sound. It was always about getting it right. It was always about making it traditionally right, and not going real out of the scope of tradition. And with that brought preservation, and I appreciated that, because so much of our music has been lost over the centuries.
Right.
So
these guys
really
started
like that.
camping a lot of this stuff out of the music that you grew up with or around in Brownsville. I don't know how much of it you were exposed to coming up. But
well, you know, I didn't know what it was, to be honest with you, as a teenager. I do remember Hammy playing in Brownsville.
Hammy Nixon.
Hammy Nixon. And Sleepy John actually lived on a farm that my dad farmed. And I remember the house. I remember the family. I don't specifically remember him directly. I'm sure he was there, you know, in my 10, 11, 12-year-old, 13-year-old years as I helped my dad.
But it wasn't like you had heard him.
I didn't. You know, I'd heard about him, and I didn't really know. But that was the way it was in Brownsville anyways, unless there were a couple of people like Lyle Reed, attorney, or I believe Mr. Pat Mann, people like that helped him in his legal. But a lot of people just knew, well, you know, he was this blues guy. They had no idea that he was going to play when he would leave Brownsville and go to Chicago, that he was ending up at the Newport Folk Festival, or he was flying to Japan, or I mean, and then when he came back home, he was just John Estes sitting on the court square playing guitar.
You know, one of the strangest things happened to me when I was in college, and I didn't really realize the impact of it till much later. Paul Jackson called me one time and said, I need a guitar player for the Peach Festival to accompany this old blues player. And I said, okay, be glad to do it. What does it pay? You know, like $50. And I said, yeah, I'll come down and do it. And then I went down there and he introduced me to Hammy Nixon.
Okay.
And, you know, Hammy was pretty gruff. He was, you know, he wanted to know if I had the chops kind of thing. And I think I passed muster with him, and we had a great time. But I didn't have any inclination of who he was or where he had been.
Yeah,
and he was not one to sit there and say, oh, do you know who I am?
And
His was the same thing. Yeah, he was looking for those dead presidents, too.
Okay.
So we played the thing, had a great time, you know, shook hands and on my way. And I really didn't know anything about who he was.
Okay.
Till Jimmy and I got together, and I'm hearing his name again, going, I know that name. So then I saw a picture, and I went, oh, I played with this guy.
Okay.
You know, so, yeah, things do get lost.
Okay.
You know, I think what he's saying, too, that's almost the picture, really, of today from where we've come in 93. I think back about literally where I've come from the one harmonica I think that's the thing with me, with my instrument now. It's not just a toy. You know, a lot of people look at this instrument as a toy.
Right? Yeah.
And, you know, there's some in here that cost me $300. I mean, I get them custom made. I get them from England.
Okay.
But the jazz, the blues, but yeah, the people that we've connected with in the time from 93 till now. And, you know, we've had a span where we didn't play together for 2 or 3 years.
Right.
You know, Steve had a group. I went and did the Nashville thing.
Right.
Got into some session work here or there, but, you know, it's just funny that, you know, we knew we would always play together at some point regardless, and we're back, you know.
They're back and have just won a contest as we're doing this in Memphis, and we'll go back for an international competition in Memphis in January of 2012, and you may be seeing this in 2015. We hope you are.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
Yeah, we don't want to get lost.
Yeah, we don't get lost. But anyway, well, let's do a song. Let's do one of those Brownsville songs if you can.
This is Sleepy John Estes.